Hey everybody, this is Todd, the Director of Publishing at Beyond Type 1, and I'm so excited to be speaking today with my favorite endocrinologist, really great friend to Beyond Type 1, who I have interviewed all the time, but I'll let her introduce herself just in case you have not yet met before. Anne Peters, and do you want to do a quick introduction?
I'm Anne Peters, a diabetologist at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and I take care of only people with diabetes and lots of people with diabetes, and I love sharing with you all what I've learned. And treating patients is always about learning because my patients are my best teachers. So I love being able to communicate with all of you. Thanks, Todd.
I have recently gone on a smart pen just because I'm taking a pump break. And I wonder, is there ever a time or a subset of people living with diabetes or where you prescribe smart pens? Do you think they're better for some patients than others? Do any of your patients use smart pens? What has your kind of observations of smart pens been with the patients that you see?
So you just asked 20 questions, but I will tell you that I love smart pens because I think they really help my patients. That B, I think anybody on multiple daily insulin injections should be using a smart pen. I think that C, we shouldn't call them smart pens because pens are intrinsically not smart or stupid. They're connected insulin pens, but just so you know. But I really encourage them. And the reason I like them for my patients is that in real time, even if you don't use a dose calculator, what you can see is insulin on board. And it helps people so much prevent stacking. So what I see is people going from more or less randomly responding to their blood sugars. Oh, I should give it before I eat. Oops, I forgot. Then I dosed. When did I last give that dose? The insulin on board notion and seeing when you gave your last dose really helps the timing of insulin. So almost everybody I see gets better and has less hypoglycemia on connected insulin pen than when they're not. And it might not improve their A1C because they might have less lows, but it makes the variability less. And as the diabetes doctor, I love the data because then I can see what you're doing. Otherwise, I say, give X, Y, or Z for a meal, and I have no idea what dose you've chosen. And I mean, do you always know how you figured out the dose you choose? I mean, I suspect that people with type 1 diabetes just have a feeling that's 4 units or that's whatever units. And I don't know how to help you dose if I don't know what you're giving. So I just love them. And I wish I could get them for everybody. And again, it's because my patients love them because of that notion of seeing insulin on board and knowing when you dose last. So I'm a huge fan, huge.
Do you see more of your type 2 versus type 1 patients using them? Is it the same?
Well, I have so few patients with type 2 diabetes and multiple daily insulin injections now that I have GLP-1 receptor agonist combinations with basal insulin. And
Mhm.
if I think about it, I don't even know if I have a single type 2 patient on it, but I either have my type 2 patients on an Omnipod because it's their biggest issue is they just don't want to carry with them the pens and deal with all of
Right.
that. I think my patients with type 1 diabetes tend to be pretty darn detail oriented, and they know that if they don't carry their supplies with them, something, bad could happen versus my type 2s or, yeah, well, I forgot, which is not to diss type 2s, but I don't see my type 2s dealing with multiple daily insulin injections with the same um, I don't know, intensity maybe that my type 1's on intensive insulin regimens. And like I said, I like Omnipods for a lot of my type 2s just because it ends up being easier and because I can use U200 insulin in the pods and kind of cheat it, but do that for people with higher insulin requirements. I'm all about whatever works for the patient. And I also, as another caveat, see relatively few type 2s compared to all of the type 1s I see. So my experience is entirely type 1 biased.
Yeah, the insulin on board is key. What I've really loved about the smart pen that I didn't have before, well, the connected pen that I didn't have before when I was just doing MDI before doing insulin pumps is I like to just be able to see that I have taken insulin or that I've taken the right type of insulin. I had some scary moments before insulin pumps, before connected pens, where I was like, oh shoot, did I just take Lantus or did I take Humalog? I have no idea. So now I can check, because that's part of it, is just the automatic logging of doses is helpful to see, because I almost never was writing down when I actually took insulin doses. And I think just the ability to automatically log doses, in addition to seeing how much insulin on board, has been really big for me.
Yeah, like I said, I am very much a fan of them, and it takes away the need to log. You still don't quite put in, if you use the bolus calculator, you can put in the carbs and it tells me at least what carbs are eaten. But as everybody knows, there's a difference in carbs. Not all carbs are the same. And certainly the dietitians like to know what kind of carbs were ingested, simple carbs versus healthier carbs. Be sure to remember to ask your physician to prescribe the cartridges, because particularly with the InPen, there's a discordance between my getting someone the InPen and then getting them the cartridges. And then everybody gets frustrated, and sometimes the wrong cartridge and the wrong pen, because it's a Novo pen and it's a Humalog cartridge. So make sure that you orient your providers to get you the right things that you need.